Alright. Team 2, randoms, team 1. Okay, here we go. No. Alright, let's begin. Play better, yeah. Hello, welcome to Will We Unban Will, episode 5, I think now. He's going to fight versus 10 easy bots. The reason why it's not 11 easy bots is because there wouldn't be a spot for me to observe it, and I'm a referee, so I can maybe give him a tip every 10 minutes or so. He's going to try to fight on Divide and Conquer, a 12-player map, and he's chosen Orc against a bunch of randoms. So they're easy, but they're still at 100% handicap. So that's one thing to bear in mind. I did a straw poll, and everyone was mean. I did a straw poll for 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. Oh, here we go. Right, let's see if I can change the colours. Please let me be able to change the colours for the teams. Ah, thank you. So, who's who? There we go. Although I can't move my camera. Oh well, this isn't going to work. Why can I not move camera? Oh, there we go. Oh, he paused. That's why. I didn't notice that. I was too busy looking at everything else on the left-hand side. Okay, we've got this. Good. I was going to say, thank you. Awesome. Okay. What? Yeah, what? I wasn't expecting him to pause right at the start. Okay, so my tip for him at the start. What's unknown race? I don't know. Unknown. Heed my call, Will. Tip 1. Creep all nearby green spots so that the computer isn't encouraged to go creep it himself and come to your zone. It's something that you'll see funny Warcraft 3 do when he fights 1 versus 11 insane bots. He'll do his nearby green spots first. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why he does it, because the computer works on an algorithm where it will try to work out the next camp to go to, then the next camp to go to, then the next camp. It'll ping there. It'll send, you know, requests to go creep it with other computers and whatnot, so it's best to clear out anything that would encourage the computer to come to your area. And that's also an issue when you get an expansion, because the computer can ping on your expansion and then that says, hey, there's an expansion here, even though the computer shouldn't be able to see it. The computer map hacks, we know this, so we'll have to do it. Streamlabs won't take your money, Hugh. It's alright, give it to me instead. Streamlabs can hold on to it another day. We'll play an Orc with the Blade Master. He's got himself a shop ready for some early healing salves and clarity pots. Maybe he's going to go for harass. The great news for Will is he's got one of the best starts here. There's not a computer here, which is where I would be, or you see what I mean, if I was playing in this game. That's the reason. So he's going to scout essentially what would be an expansion, although I'd still suggest you try to expand in the trees on this map. But hopefully he doesn't go too crazy. He's definitely going to lose that. There's not much. It's not really his fault, because he was expecting there to be a computer in every single slot. I was expecting that, but then I realised otherwise. But a rock golem is basically a guaranteed kill on most scouting peons. Blade Master picking up Tome of Strength. Moving on to the next green camp, I trust. He's going to have to start getting some grunts. He's already got himself an extra burrow, so he should definitely start filling up that food population. Go for the big Gnoll Brute. He drops the item, I believe. So, oh, I'm understanding that, Hugh. I was just being sarcastic in regards to what you said. Yeah, if there's an internal error, I'm not sure what you can do about that. That's out of my hands right now. I'll have a look at the computers in a moment. Oh, Will. He's going to die, isn't he? This is bad. Get some bloody units so you can get that expansion going and give yourself the best possible chance. He's going to have to go back and get himself a healing salve. A little prematurely. He can at least go back and finish the Gnoll Brute, or he can just stand here and heal for some time. Okay, so the handicap is as follows. I will pull that up and then I'll look at the Blade Master. There was 156 votes. 40% of those votes went to all of the bots being on 100%. 23% went to the bots being on 50%, so there's a huge disparity there. I wanted to vote... Well, I wanted to go with the third option, which was 70%. So all 10 easy bots are on 70% handicap, which means that they have 70% health percentage. 100% means they have all 100% of their hit points, so 700. If it was at 50%, then it would be 350, if you see what I mean. So 70% would be somewhere in between, much more happy medium. So then we have 6% for 90%, and 6% for 60%, and 15% for 80%. So it was either one way or the other, genuinely speaking, and 100% definitely won it. Let's come out of that. Let's come out of that. Come back to this. Alright, so now we'll start looking at the... What the hell is this? Oh, is that the neutrals? Okay, so he might not necessarily be versus 10 insane bots. What is going on? Alright, well you saw the loading screen. I reckon this must be the bots that have that observer icon. We won't make Will restart this though, because that'll be a bit unfair. Unless he wants to. We could actually. That's fascinating. Computer easy. It puts sheep in the spot where... Because I had this issue where I was trying to get the... It was really difficult to set this game up in the first place. Although he's not going to have this spot here. What do you think in the chat? Should we restart this? Or should we let him fight versus the sheep and the other easy computers? There's a lot of restarts. I assume there would be. You voted for 10 and you're going to get 10. Fine. But at least that gives you a better chance on your Blade Master and you'll know what to do now. So you got a bit of a heads up. But I can't guarantee you're going to have the easy expansion.
A player's forces are under attack.
But that's weird. But yeah, I've had to change the races, I've had to change the teams, I've had to change the positions, the difficulty of the computers, and there was that issue where they had this creep icon. And High Rise, he said it doesn't matter! Start the game! And this is what we get, a bunch of sheep, so I blame High Rise. Yeah, green, what the heck is that? We should be good now. Although some of them are unknown. Why have they swapped to unknown? Alpha. Everything seems legit. Let's get this gabbing. Alright, will there be any sheep? We've changed all of the races from random to actual races, because it said random races to no. So far so good on the minimap. Doesn't look like sheeps to me. And we've got red versus blue. Will be in red. The red orc. Oh no. Alright, so he's the red orc. And we are in motion! We got this to work. It only took about 40 minutes or 50 minutes, but I learnt a few things about how to host and how painful it is to host and manually set up games versus bots and that kind of stuff. It requires a lot of work, trust me. And Will can't manually host because he hasn't forwarded his ports, which was the other suggestion I would have had. If we couldn't get the bot to do it, he can just host it himself, because if he hosts the game himself, other people will then have to deal with a delay and ping, but that doesn't matter because the only other person in the game is me and I'm a referee. So he would still have the 100% ping that he needs if he hosted the game himself on Battle.net or whatever the Battle.net is. And it's 100 ms, so it's good enough. 100 ms plus his ms. So he probably had about 140, I imagine, or something. Blade Master start. Redemption time for Will, and he does actually have the easy expansion, although it's not as good as I'd say the position. Maybe it's better actually, because the expansion, this actually might be better for him, because before he was on the outside to a degree, easier to access, but he had an expansion that was, you know, tucked away. Now he's in a position that's tucked away, and the expansion is arguably on the outside. He's only got this computer. If he could eliminate that computer, maybe, after dealing with the green camps, I'll get the green camps done, go for an expansion, get a lot of towers. I'll probably give him another tip now. It's been like over 40 minutes. Oh. Yeah, he'll find out soon enough. Right, he's got his grunt this time. Oh, he's much more... This is much more improved start on the creep camp. The grunt's there, Blade Master's there. This damage is split between them, so the Blade Master's not going to be as threatened as last time. Picking up Cloak of Shadows, that can actually be useful versus bots. You can get them off your back. I got another tip for him later on. Is my music warped or is it Twitch? My music is just the Warcraft 3 music. There's no other music playing right now. So maybe it's Twitch for you. Right. First creep camp done. 180 experience in the bag. Another creep camp. Ah, these maybe not. These won't do it. I don't think so. 2-level troll, 2 trolls. I don't think that's enough for level 2. But it doesn't matter too much. He'll go through them one by one and get there. He'll probably find out sooner or later that there is a computer easy nearby. Every now and then I will focus in on what the computers are up to, so you can see they spend a lot of their time just standing AFK and base before they gather their forces. So this gives you a lot of prep time to get yourself set up with what it is that you're trying to achieve before the computer then sets out to go creeping. Now, the computer doesn't actually have many expansions when you think about it. It's got 1, 2... 3 on the bottom side, so 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom side, and I think that yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom side, and I'm trying to remember the map. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it is 4 on either side. This might be a bit too tough for Will right now. He can do this if he can get the grunt to take all the focus, but he doesn't want to lose a unit. He's got another grunt coming in here. As soon as he goes in with that Blade Master, he's going to get bolted again though. So he needs to kill this guy very quickly before the next bolt comes in. Okay. Loses a couple of grunts. Oh! And the Blade Master! Fuck Torals! Yes. Indeed. I couldn't have said it better myself. Let's try again. He is working though. He's doing like macro on the side, which is what you need to do on this map to set yourself up in like another expansion on the inner corner that can only be accessed through smaller units. He's getting a peon that's chopping through the trees, and he's doing it on this side as well. So this is actually quite hard work because he actually, I don't think Will's had any practice on this. I've had practice when it comes to 1 versus 11 and on this map, so I've got more of a flow when it comes to this kind of stuff, whereas Will's more or less experiencing this for the first time. Alright, Blade Master's almost out. He'll definitely be able to finish this, but I don't know if he... It feels like he wants to maybe go for an expansion over here. Switching out to a creep camp over here. Meanwhile, computers have massed up to 43 food. 43 food. 35 food. So the undead chooses to tech earlier and foregoes some food, as opposed to the human players. The orc sits at 37 food and techs into armor. The night elf techs into damage and 35 food. So the night elf acts a bit like the undead. The human's the one that actually masses the most units before choosing to tech. Doesn't actually go for an expansion though. I'm surprised the human isn't programmed to go for an expansion. Will moving back, coming in to finish off this creep camp that wronged him so before. You know what I said. Do I tell him what his challenge is in advance? No, we try to work it. No, I haven't told him what his challenge is in advance. He's found out today. I let the chat decide. We did a straw poll as to what Will was going to do. I have something in mind for him, and it was going to be that, but it's changed to this instead. Will versus 10 insane bots. Not insane bots, easy bots, but still 10 nonetheless. My
Player's
favourite colour,
forces
green.
are under attack.
And a Shadow Hunter. Cool move there. Extra points for going Shadow Hunter first. Let's moving on to this camp, which is actually pretty doable. This orange creek camp over here is nice as well. Gets you access to the shop, boosts the speed if you need to. If Will was able to creep this camp and this camp, he has access to a level 7 artifact item, which can really swing. It can be potentially a Crown of Kings, I believe, if I remember correctly. But that's going to be hard to do, because you will need some tier 2 and some form of anti-air. He is moving towards tier 2 now. He has set up an expansion, and the peon is almost finished chopping the trees over here, whilst this one is almost done over here as well. So he has options. He does not have healing cells though, so those grunts aren't going to heal very easily. Unless he wants to teleport back, which wouldn't necessarily be the biggest waste of gold, if it's to just get you back into a position to get another expansion set up. Daytime procs, which means that the acquisition range of the creeps enlarges, especially those camping the gold mine or anything that's sleeping. So it means they're much more aggro. I might have to tell him how to stop him from losing his units. I think he's probably going to say he knows, but he does know. Yeah, you have to make your unit attack your hero. But I've said this time and time again, trolls have a strange artificial intelligence. I don't know what it is about troll units in particular. They are, yes. Trolls are trolls. Literally. They're the only units that I know of in the game that don't always abide by the rules when it comes to attacking your hero. If you have two units, one's at 100%, the other's at 20%, and you're fighting a creep camp, doesn't matter what creep camp it is, if you get the 20% health unit to attack the 100% health unit that belongs to you, the creeps will switch from that weakest unit to then focus the healthier unit, because suddenly the 20% health unit disappears because it's no longer hostile to them because it's attacking its own unit. That's how it works. Don't ask me why it works that way, it's just Warcraft 3 is coded that way. But trolls, particularly troll trappers, they don't always pay attention to that for some reason. They do for a moment and then they'll swap back, and I've never known why it is that trolls do that. I don't think Blizzard were clever enough to make it so that trolls, literally trolls, are trolling you. I just think it's weird, unless they did, and that's very impressive. That's like some huge meta joke. But I'm not sure. As for level 6 creeps, they'll always attack the lowest health unit as well. So it doesn't work versus creeps that are level 6 onwards. Okay, Will might be in a bit of trouble because the computer is aware of this creep camp being opened up. So he's moved over here. That should be his nearest opponent. So he finishes this off. Now the question is where does he go after that? Will only at 28 food, 1,000 gold, so he needs to find a way to either mass up towers. He might be hiding in the base. He could do that. He could mass towers inside of here. Versus easy bots, it might be better. But he needs to get something on the go, like wyverns, Shadow Lodge for casters. I mean, orcs are a good race for this. They're pretty solid. They're pretty strong. He could always go the strategy that I used, which was mass bat riders and constantly hit the computer, making them town portal over and over until they run out of gold. But that's ridiculously hard to do. So, yeah, good luck with that. I did manage it, but it was ridiculously hard. It took me many, many hours. Does the computer not want that item? I guess that's a nice 200 gold item if Will picks that up. So Will might have noticed this. I'm not 100% certain. He's starting to get a lot more towers now, so the macro's kicking in. Tier 3, spending that gold, Spirit Lodge, Bestiary, so he's going for an all-rounder. Now what? Tip 2. This is kind of cheating a little bit. I just given him a little I said this before, I was going to throw him a few bones. Is it tip 2 or tip 3? It doesn't matter which version it is. Wouldn't this be easier with undead? Orc towers are the best towers. So you could actually just mass orc towers. Versus easy computer, you might be okay. Versus insane computer, you're still going to have a struggle, but Although there are meat wagons coming out, so it may only be easy computer, but as long as it's still got the programming to make it attack move, that's not going to change how it reacts in comparison to an insane computer. Attack move is attack move. You can't deal with that. So you have to have something in place, some way to kill those siege units whilst they're trying to take out your towers. Distract them, hit them. My other biggest tip really is to try to hit other bases that aren't near yours and force town portals. But that requires quite a lot of macro hard work. You can split your heroes up as well. Just attacking a couple of peons or a building is sometimes enough to make the computer TP. In fact, make all of them TP sometimes. This will be interesting. Will's trying to get through here, and this does sometimes work. The computer sometimes ignores you. So he might be lucky enough just to walk through here. Depends on that Mountain King, really, what his choice is. Looks like Will can just walk through this. The computer works this way, whether it's insane or easy. So you can sometimes just sort of weave in and out of them. A bit like how you would weave in and out of zombies in The Walking Dead. If you just splatter guts all over you, you can sort of move amongst them. One grunt though, not going to be so lucky. Oh, all the frost being picked up. So the golems are being crept. That's where I think the artifact item might be from. I don't think necessarily the artifact... I can't remember whether all 3 camps have the artifact item. So yeah, Will did try the middle because I suggested it, but now that top and the middle bits have now gone, which is kind of tricky. I mean, this is not easy. I'm not even exactly sure what Will should be doing right now, and I can see the entire map. I guess just keep working on that expansion, get as much gold in, get as much wood in as possible, stay at 50 food for as long as you think you can before pushing it. He's getting bats now. He's going for shaman. Bats can work, but you need a ridiculous number of them. And you won't be able to kill a base. Oh, this is a nice spot for the Blade Master. Couple of ballistas. They're pretty easy to pick off. Or wisps at the back. Night Elf is a good option. Yeah, they're starting to get a bunch of siege now. Keep trying. You might be able to get them to TP. So far, none of them are attacking your base, so you're okay for now, Mr. Stream Sniper. Go on. Your Windwalk's about to run out. At least he's got a lot of mana. There we go. Almost. I thought that was a TP for a second there. No. I guess the easy computers don't TP immediately. If you see me fight versus the insane computers, you only have to breathe on a base. Literally just one breath. And everyone, or almost everyone, will come and help. Like, they actually start teleporting before you get to the base. So by the time you get to the base, they've actually town-portaled on top of you. It's complete and utter cheat that the computer uses to do that. Because there's no way they know you're coming. But they're teleporting because they know that you're a threat. Regardless of whether they can see you or not. Or legitimately see you or not. Okay. Now, how many Bat Riders have we got? We've got 45 food. Where are they hiding? So a lot of that food is probably on peons as well, just putting up towers. So we're always setting up a lot of towers. You probably want to have one concentrated area though for towers. It might be worth building another war mill as well, closer to the trees, since you're struggling so much for wood. This map does not have access to a shredder. In fact, all you really have access to are shops and Fountain of Health. That's about it. It's actually quite lackluster when it comes to that. It's an old school Reign of Chaos map. There's no marketplace. There's no tavern. So you can't go funky heroes. But Orc have the best, well, not necessarily the best tri-hero, but as good as the best tri-hero, I think. I honestly would probably prefer Orc tri-hero over Human tri-hero, even though I think in the right hands, Human tri-hero is probably stronger. Especially in Reign of Chaos. I'm not so sure about TFT, though. Undead being a fairly good tri-hero with the Dreadlord, potentially, because of the sleep. If you get a high-level Dreadlord, you can sleep enemy heroes for a long time. And yes, they can be interrupted, but you can sleep them again for 50 mana. And it's like 4 seconds of invulnerability, where they can't interrupt it, 3 to 4 seconds, and then they can interrupt it. So you can essentially shut down a hero completely. as long as you've got enough mana. Even if they constantly try to attack it, you can still shut it down, which is why I've been so stressed in the past fighting versus Dreadlords. If you ever see me fight versus them, I might have had a couple of stressful games versus them. I'm actually glad that a lot of people don't use Dreadlord more, because it's a hard counter. It's a very strong hero. It's very underrated. And it's freaking ridiculously annoying to play against. Will's unfortunately caught himself some disease cloud, so yeah, he does need these healing cells to try to get that health going back up. That's it. If Will can find his way to... He's pushed up above the 50 food. He's got a decent chunk of gold. He's got 2 expansions. 3 expansions, actually. So he's comfortable to push past 50 food. But the computer's moving in now. That's just one computer. But where there's one, there's normally more. So you've got to be cautious of that. That's going to be gone. Mortar teams in the back make this tricky, but the Blade Master is on foot. But the Undead Imbalance is making its way. That is quite the healthy army composition. Blade Master's not going to be enough versus that. The biggest problem Will has here is that his base is like in line next. So I'm not sure how he gets the computer away from this. That was a nice move back though versus the Stormbolt. That saved your life probably. Or at least a lot of damage. You probably need to start taking... Yeah, I would suggest start to use your bats now. See if you can force the computer to town portal. Although, yellow's camping, so he knows what's coming. I would say... I know this is cheating a little bit, but I'm trying to give him as much of a chance. If he goes here, he's just going to fucking lose all of them. So I'm just trying to give him a chance to stay in the game. Hoping that computer just skirts by but doesn't go close enough to feel threatened enough to start attacking this base. Pink's quite far away, but that adds to his advantage if he can reach there and stop the computer. The computer... Oh, I just don't know what this... They're struggling to get out. They're actually blocking themselves. They might get out eventually, but they've got units rallying to heroes on the inside, and they can't work out how to split them up. What's up? This human base will do nicely.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah. There's no TPs being used by the easy computer, so keep getting peons and keep getting wood in for as many towers as possible, because when they do eventually attack your base, it doesn't look like you have an easy way to force them out of your base. So oh, here we go. They're finally going for it. So a main base, if it's of a high quality, aka tier 3, seems to at least encourage the player themselves, the computer player that belongs to that base, to TP. So that's one, at least. So you just got to do that to each and every single base. And rinse and repeat. When you get enough bats, you'll just probably be able to start taking them out. There are 4 shops on the map, which means that aside from the computer shops that they also have, so it's an idea to sometimes kill the computer shops so they can't easily buy TPs to go to the next base and the next base. And those TPs will get soon bought out because there's 10 of them. 10 computers. So that's 2 town portals, I think, per shop on a certain cooldown. Probably something like a 240-second cooldown or something. He's making his way. This yellow guy is so ready for those bats, though. I've never seen a night elf so ready to encounter bats. I wonder if Will's getting lag, though, or not. When I play this in single player, I get a lot of lag when I play against the computers. If Will's not getting lag here whilst playing it versus the bot, I might have to do my 1 versus 11s versus on a bot. Because that was always a big issue as well, is you get massive amounts of frame rate drop and lag. And I don't know really why, other than my computer not necessarily being good enough. Ping. Oh, check me. I can't seem to get a command. Will's doing alright. He's still in the game. He's in the game longer than you was expecting him to be in the game. I think Will might have a chance. The comeback is real. What's up? Oh, some of your bats got picked. Ah! He went for the main base here. I just missed that. And obviously about 4 or 5 of the computers town portal. And he got a spike. Nope.
A town is under siege.
If you've watched me play, you've seen those spikes that I get. It goes down to like 20 FPS for a consistent period of time. Yeah, this is one base you can take down though. That's a big deal. Because it takes a while for the tree to, well, for the night elf to rebuild, and then it's going to be a much weaker tree of life. This is a big deal, and it's also forcing the computer to come down like a headless chicken, rather than make up its own mind and say, you know what, let's just be aggressive here. It's just running herd mentality towards the bats. The yellow night elf, who camped his base for so long, has finally let his guard down after probably town portaling over here, I imagine. I couldn't keep an eye on all of it. Bats are actually kind of good for getting you experience for your heroes as well. If you can pick off the weaker air units, that will definitely die to your bats. Gargs, gyrocopters, stuff like that. You could actually level up your hero quite a lot just from that, because it will give you the experience wherever you are across the map. And if you're at tier 3, you get 30% bonus experience if you have one hero. The question is do you have your hero? Yes, you do. You have 2 of them. Okay, so you won't get the 30% bonus experience because you got more than one hero. But you'll still get a decent chunk. The logs say that the ping spikes to around 150 here and there. Okay. So the middle spot's still open. The dragon is being crept. Sneaky Blade Master. Tip 37. It's going to be too late. There's no way he's going to get his Blade Master that by the time I've typed that. If he wind walked like 3 times in a row, the computer's very slowly, because the griffins can't attack it, because it's immune to magic, and griffins do magic damage. Blade Master's on his way. Ah, man. Alright, some computers have been forced to TP. Unfortunately not this one though. Will it actually pick up the item though? It might not even pick up the item. Oh, it did. It got it. And it was Crown of Kings as well. That would have been awesome for your Blade Master. You're lucky that human actually doesn't have gyrocopters, because if he does, he could see the Blade Master. Yeah, sometimes the computer might just leave the items there. It left the Wand of the Wind there. So there was an opportunity for it to maybe leave the Crown of Kings as well. Unfortunately, not the case. Well, the expansion is back up for Wheel at the top here. So 1, 2, 3 expansions. Raking in the gold. He's got a decent amount. And he's obviously got his main base.
The player's forces are under attack.
I would sometimes leave your main base, because that's the most guaranteed gold mine you typically will have. Apart from maybe this one that's got so many towers there, but it's like a guaranteed gold mine. So you actually leave the gold in there. That's a free-for-all tip, really. Oh, human towers. Very hard for bats to deal with those. So human's probably going to be the last race that you'll get to kill, and it's going to be the hardest as well, because it can potentially create tanks. Luckily, I don't see any tanks. But tanks with the rockets upgrade will destroy bats. Gyrocopters, nasty. No need to type, he's stream sniping. Yeah, I guess he gets the information quicker though. I mean, he's still got Ogre Magi camps to finish off with the Blade Master. If he's able to bring his heroes there and not get killed. But you've got to duck in and out of all the computers that are about. He's probably going to pick on the Night Elf again, but the Night Elf actually hasn't rebuilt its main. So you just somehow need to find a way to kill off its units or the rest of its buildings. The computer easy really is struggling though to find some sort of... I mean, maybe once all the creep camps are gone, so it might be an idea to not kill all the creep camps, because once all the creep camps are gone, then the computer might have to make an executive decision to be more aggressive. But whilst the creep camps remain, they're not very decisive. I would move on to buildings. You can kill wisps, but it's not getting you very far. Get those buildings going. Shops, altars, food supply. If you can get the big buildings, go for it, but food supply is sometimes easy to kill. Oh, gyrocopter now coming in for the human player. And an undead. It's almost always the undead that attacks first. Is moving in, but is he going for the expansion or is he going for the main? Oh no. Oh no. Can Will's main hold up against this force? This is quite the large army. That's probably about 70 food, I would say. That's got to be, including the acolytes and maybe ghouls are back at base. And wow, the computer is eliminating those towers pretty easily. Will might actually be letting this go. He's even got Unholy Frenzy being cast on these Frostworms. At least they aren't fully upgraded yet. They're slow with their tech. But this is a dead main base. Will needs to make use of these bats. Ideally attack the undead. If you memorize which colours are which isn't that hard because it should show on the minimap, you just go and attack the race that is attacking you. Although, does he have a town portal? Where's his Death Knight? Does he have a Death Knight? Or is it just a Lich? He doesn't have a town portal, so he could even town portal out anyway. So he's fixated on this. I'm starting to get a bit of lag, actually. It's definitely tricky. Not much we can do versus a lag. This is the kind of feel you get. This is what it feels like being the player. So Will's actually got the extra lag on top of it. So you can see it. Yeah. It goes down to about 30-ish FPS on and off. You try beating insane bots with this lag though. Come back to me on that one. An undead base is a very tricky one to kill, almost always the hardest. This is the base though that belongs to that guy. But he's not going to come back because he hasn't got that town portal. You need to split the bats really so that they hit the spirit towers and they're reducing their attack rate by 90%, I think it is. Instead, the main goes down, which is something. But the bats also go down. Oh, hello! Look at those towers go to town. See if you can stop those towers from killing that Lich and finish off with your hero. That's easier said than done, but still. Wow, that's a nice spot. Although it has encouraged Blue to come and pop in. But his Griffins are too fixated on the Shadow Hunter, which isn't getting much damage done. But the siege from around the other corners. Blade Master needs to get round to the siege. They won't always attack a peon. They'll try to attack military units, not civilians. The mortars are down. The towers are still going. Blue's making his way through, but it's very clunky. Try to get the last hits with your Blade Master if you can. Particularly on the higher tier units, such as Knight. Hotkey the buildings as well. Oh, that was a nice wind walk, because that just stopped you from getting storm bolted and probably killed. Mountain King, obviously. Oh, Sentinel. I don't know they can see the Blade Master though until he's gone around there. Now it can! Oh my god! There's no way he knew about that though. Alright, you better find a way to get your Blade Master back. You should have been built on an altar somewhere else just in case. There's no tavern to get your hero back. This is still blue and there's not much left of him, so you still live. So you're alive for now. The computer is considering its next attack force. And what it's going to do. It's a lot of dancing back and forth. They've got a rave party going on here. They're waving their wands around. Those spellcasters. This is what they do on their time off. When they're giving Will a chance. If all of that just collectively decided to attack move, it feels like it's going to do it. Maybe brown. is going to be the guy that says, you know what, guys? I'm tired of this party. I've got a new party idea. And it's to frickin' wreck Will. He's lining up. Next in line. They take it one at a time. Is he having second thoughts after seeing what happened to Blue? Alright, Blade Master should at least be being rebuilt now. Thanks to the altar at the top here. There's also a sneaky altar up there. And Orange is on patrol. Nothing to see here, says Orange. Everything looks legit. Oh, wait. He's spotted it. Mostly thanks to that mortar team. I know the gyrocopter in the air can see it, but the mortar team's what provoked that attack. Otherwise, I don't think it would have attacked if it didn't have the mortar team there. So there's really only an altar. There's no bestiary. He does have stronghold, so he's able to build a bestiary. Oh, he's got him down here. So he's able to replenish his bats. Computers actually made its way into the hidden tree camp, which it almost never does. And that's purely because of giants eating the trees. I don't know if it did that subconsciously or whether it just was like, okay, my giant needs a new tree. Oh, look, there's a new open spot here. Oh, I wonder what's inside. Like, it's hard to tell with a computer whether it's really programmed to be that smart or whether it was just dumb luck. So, one thing to bear in mind is that a lot of the computers are going to run out of their main gold mines, or they obviously don't rebuild their tree. So yes, their main gold mines are gone now, which only leaves the natural expansions. So this one, 1, 2. Did I overcount then? Maybe I've counted that one as well. Maybe there's only 2 natural expansions. My bad. Did I count 4 for some reason? I think I was counting 4 earlier on each side. Don't know why I said that, but I did. Yeah, I think there's 2, so there's 4 in total. This one's got loads left though. Oh no. Blade Master, please come out. With those frostworms hit that altar, that's never coming out. Oh, that is so close. 1 wind walk to escape. I wouldn't chance your luck. Get whatever you like from the shop. Although you got a shop over here. If those frostworms hit that altar, that Blade Master would have been stuck. Because when a building is frozen, everything stops. You can't produce units. Anything being produced is frozen in time. So Brown never decided to come and have a go at you. You might want to kill that Sentinel, to be honest.
A player's forces are under attack.
Let's see if he's willing to do it. I'm kind of hoping that that doesn't get him in trouble though, because Orange is constantly patrolling outside. So Orange might catch that peon. Blade Master's trying to keep him busy. He's got invulnerability, Scroller Town Portal, Boost of Speed, Circlet, and Orb. Very nice items. Certainly keeps him in the game for the time being. All the computer heroes shouldn't be that high level. They've managed to get like 2, 3, 4 in terms of hero levels, which is a little threatening, but it's not as scary as level 5 heroes onwards, because level 5 heroes is like level 3 Death Coil, level 3 Stormbolt, etc, etc. That's going to do a lot more damage than a level 2 comparison. So Will now fully upgraded, 50 food, 9,917 gold, not bringing much in now at this point. He's still got a lot of gold in this though, and this is now his new main. Blade Master being chased out of the base. The game still continues. Oh! Almost. Is he going to do it? I guess he's going to move right past it. I thought he might creep it. I'll keep that on copy and paste. Oh man, that is so big a force. Get those bats out. Yeah, you do pretty much want triple heroes. Heroes are obviously going to outpower units the stronger the heroes get. That sounds like dumb obviousness, but it's really important in the situation where you're against the odds, aka against 10 other players or computers. So you want to give yourself the best option, and multiple options. Tauren Chieftain would be easily a great choice. War Stomp, Shockwave, Movement Speed, and Reincarnation, fantastic. Farseer, probably the weakest out of all the Orc heroes. He does have Earthquake, which would help. Level 5 Blade Master. Oh, the computer's gonna be making its move. It's Green's turn, but Green's on his own. I don't think the other computers are going to commit here. So Will is actually softening him up. Purple's getting closer and closer. Teal's starting to move in. I think Teal's going to be provoked into a fight here as soon as those towers hit him. There we go. Now he's committed to the fight. Now Purple's coming into the fight. The Frostworms, Frost Effect. You've got to kill those Frosties. I think he knows. But you've got to kill the worms to deny that Frost Effect. He might still be okay here. The computer's really, really stuck. Chimera's on the eastern side. Blade Master's down. This is so much now. All of the computer is on him. Oh, there's more Chimeras. There's Pink's Chimeras. There's only 2 each, but they're still hitting from such a range that they can't really be touched from those towers. It's horrible threat. Hex coming in here to at least try to reduce the amount of damage taken from the Chimeras. The computer is moving in with the speed ghouls, the frenzy ghouls, trying to finish things off. The Taurens are coming in, the meaty tanks. They'll be able to take a hit or two from the towers. Will's last bastion of defense, his main bastion of defense, is really looking in a sore spot at this point. The computer might win the day. For so long, Will was looking like he was in a position where he might at least be able to take this. Shadow Hunter down to the Death Coil. And now we have a bunch of computers waiting to get in with the ultimate party. Bats now provoked into the fight simply because of auto attack range. And is there an altar for the heroes to be rebuilt? There's 11,000 gold for Will, but he's run out of spaces where he can potentially build and not be hit by the computer. So even though you could potentially hide a peon or, you know, make an alternative base, remember that once the computer takes your spot, he takes your spot. Like 2 of them are built here. 2 people built here. You had the Undead Goldmine and the Orange Human. So they take over your space. So you don't really have many places to build. Well, that's bad for Will. That leaves him with an altar that's about to go up. The production of bats and 20 out of 40 food. So more burrows are needed. And he just has to pray that they don't come over here. And he might get lucky with that. It's really hard to predict what the computer's going to do, which makes it so difficult to fight versus them. The only guarantee is that the computer will suicide if you build towers behind the trees. But in terms of their behavior otherwise, there's no real way to know what it is that the computer's going to do. It's just a lot of luck. Yeah, obviously you need a lot of skill to fight versus like a multitude of computers, but you also need a lot of luck. Things that basically just go right for you. Bats picking off on the Night Elf base, provoking attention from Pink over here. Could at least buy him a little bit more time to get things set up in his main base. Burrows are being created. Peons are being made. This expansion down here in the middle bottom is the only open one. Otherwise, everything else has been taken. The computer's going to be stuck there for probably the next 5 to 7 minutes. I would hazard a guess, because there's so many of them, and like I said, they rally towards their heroes, and their heroes want to get out, but they can't get out because the units are still rallying towards their heroes until they've reached a certain point, so they keep trying to rally towards their heroes because they can't reach them yet. It's kind of funny how that works. And a Kodo Beast being a fat thing. Oh no! Pink didn't go back to yellow. He saw past Will's tactics and decided to go for Will's last base. He hasn't even got his heroes out yet. Blade Master's almost out. The problem is Will needs to kill this like ASAP before anything else comes here. Because whilst you're attacking them, you're provoking other computers. But you don't have a choice. They won't leave unless you can get them to town portal back, which they're not going to. And there's just so much coming in. This could be the end now. This could be it. Will put up a good fight. He's never lasted this long before in any of these challenges. But I think there is no coming back from this. Blade Master. Oh, the Stormbolt hooks round thanks to the Fairy Fire. And Bladey down for the count. Only 6 or 7 seconds after coming out of the altar. Can the Shadow Hunter make a comeback here? Is there still time? Giants with giant trees say no. This is it. Will's got bats over here. A great haul over here. But... Destroyers are already on to interception. That was unlucky. That could have been anything. That could have been like a Huntress or an Archer. But instead it was 2 Destroyers. Demolishers, sorry. This is it. This is his last base. Can the bats kill him in time? What a noble way to go down. Will was defeated and the computer easy was victorious. Ah, that was quite the roller coaster ride after a while, that one. Nice score though. Almost double the next computer. And that was the silver... No, that's the... Yeah, that was the undead that gave you the trouble in the first place, I think. And killed your expansion. Or was it your main base? I think your main base the undead went for. I think the silver human went for your expansion and the grey undead went for your main base. So those 2 guys with the top scores were the ones that gave you the most trouble as well. Who would be surprised that the green orc with the Shadow Hunter first was the least useful? That was nice of him to try though with Shadow Hunter. 157 kills. Only 3 hero kills though. Double hero. Computer got up to level 5. The idea is to not give them too much experience. Keep their hero levels down so they can be easier to pick on. And they're less threat to you with their spells and abilities. 35k in the bank. Only 5,700 loss, so that's not too bad. Good attempt there, Will. But I guess you remain banned for now. So until next time, stay tuned for Will We Unban Will. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed yourselves. And I'll see you later.